tree. Last to come, XYZ, and the sun goes down on the coconut tree. Chicka chicka boom boom, look, there's a full moon. A is out of bed, and this is what he said. Dare, double dare, if you can't catch me, I'll lead you to the top of the coconut tree. Chicka.
Right. You got our boom chicka boom song as we're learning our alphabet. What letter is gonna come up the coconut tree today, I wonder? Can you guess? We've been working on a lot of letters. So here's our coconut tree. Who could possibly be wanting to go up the coconut tree with us today? If you've been watching, I bet you know. Today, we are going to have G. G, here comes G up the coconut tree. So here's our little boom chicka boom coconut tree. Give him a little color. You guys help me color really good. You know what? I'm kind of getting a lot better at my left hand. I used to be better at being ambidextrous. That means you can write with both hands. I can switch hit pretty good with both hands. Actually, I'm a pretty mean switch hitter. And when I was younger and I used to box a little bit, I could actually box pretty good as a southpaw. I had a pretty good little uppercut when I would box with my friends when we were, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years old. Kids. Just kids. We were kids. Didn't quite figure out golfing with my left hand. Because you need a whole different set of clubs to golf left-handed. But baseball bat is easy. You can always take a baseball bat and switch hit. Bowling, I think, is kind of the same way. And I think our coconut tree here. You need some coconut trees, or some coconuts, up in his trees. And they're going to fall down later. You know what's inside a coconut? It's coconut milk inside a coconut. Be quite tasty. So today we're working with the letter G. What are some letters? If you guys have been seeing how I do this, what are some words that start with our letter G? Can you think of anything? I can think of one because it's what Miss Karen is. It's a girl. G. I switch this up so we can see. I. Well, I'm going to run into the coconut tree. R. L. Girl. What's another word that starts with G? We use this a lot when we make our projects. How about glue? A very good G. G. L. Excuse me. U. E. What's another word that starts with the letter G? You guys like gum? Some of you might be too young to have gum, but I love to chew gum. G-U-M. Can we think of another one? It's starting to green up a little bit. It's trying to be spring outside. And the Easter Bunny likes this to play in. About some grass. Grass is always good. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. Alright, so let's get into this today with our letter G. So, let's look at G. You know, how do we make this letter G here? Okay, so, get my other pen. Oh, this works. So, it's kind of like one big motion. It's a big circle that goes around. But we got to stop. We don't connect it. And then we go in and we make a line. Sometimes you can just go in, stop, and make a line. So G is for gumballs. So on this, we need to find all the capital G's, and we need to color them. You know, I haven't used blue in a while. Blue gumballs are pretty tasty, so I'm going to use my blue pen. So let's start looking for some G's, and let's think about some of those words that start with G's. So as we're finding them, you know, if you're there on your Kindle or your little tablet or on the TV, you know, point them out. So here's our first letter G. So G for gum. Here's a G. You guys like Curious George? G's for George. Here's a G. What are some other words? Do any of you wear glasses yet? Or maybe grandpa, grandma wear glasses? Here's a G. How about a G for goat? It's goats with a horn. What else? Here's another G. What else starts with G? Girl. Girl starts with G. Now, can we think of some others? Just keep looking. Here's a B and an R. C, E. Here's a G. What can this G start with? Do you guys have fences maybe around your house maybe? How about G for a gate? See, that's an F. E. There's a D. K. U. Oh, here's a G right here. What can this be for? Sometimes your cars get parked in these. How about a garage? G is for garage. There's an R. Here's a G. What is this one? What do the Easter bunnies like to hop on and nibble on? Grass. G is for grass. There's a D, S, Q, N. Oh, here's a G. Oh, I see two G's together. So what can this G be? How about green? The color green. Okay, and then here's another one. What's another word that can start with G? How about gorilla? Gorilla's a good one. Now, have we gotten these all? Let's look. A, F, N, O, I, B, R, C, E, F. Oh, here's one more. How about G for grandpa or grandma? Okay, so let's keep looking. Let's double check our work. Always double check your work. Make sure you got it. You know what? While I'm here, let's put some gumballs in this machine. Now, surely you guys have seen gumballs. Most of you probably have. Might be a few of you that haven't yet. But gumballs were the best. I remember when you could actually buy a gumball. And you know how much it cost? Only a penny. Can you imagine buying a gumball for a penny? You can't even sneeze for a penny anymore. You know, a penny won't even get stuck to the bottom of your shoe anymore. There, now we got some gumballs in our gumball machine. Alright, so let's count up. How many gumballs do we have? So you always like to count these up, kind of learning a little bit about our numbers too. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So today we have 11 gumballs. So if you take two fingers together and you hold them up, see, that kind of looks like an 11. But you can also think of it, you know, as 1, 2. But when you see it like that, that's an 11, and that's a pretty big number. All right, let's put our little star on the page. Good job, you guys helped me find all those G's, and we came up with some really good words. What else are we going to do today? Oh, one of my favorites. I hope it's getting to be one of your favorites too. I got my pencils all ready here. This is our color by number page. I love these. So who's ever taken care of you, if you guys want to hop on the internet and Google color by number or color by letter, and make sure you put in like preschool or kindergarten and maybe the word free, you guys will find a ton of these pages. So you can kind of tell what this is. I bet you can see it already. I see a fish. We're going to give it some color. So what do we have? We have 1s are blue, 2s are red, 3 is green, 4 is yellow, 5 is brown, and 6 is purple. So let's get our number 1. Boop. And I put numbers on my pencils when I do these. You don't have to always. It just kind of helps me. So it looks like, okay, here's a number 1. There's a lot of 1. It looks like it comes maybe down around the fish here and up here. All that is a number 1. Okay, so let's color this. And you know what? And I think Miss Karen might have screwed up a little bit today. Getting a little out of order. Because I'm seeing this and I'm coloring a fish. But yet we're doing the letter G. Fish doesn't start with the letter G. But, you know what? Maybe this is a gold fish. So see, it still works. You still got to have some color by numbers. I can make these work. You guys can make them work. Okay, so you got to come over here. What do you think these are? Those little round things. What do you think the round things are up there? Now, yesterday we talked a little bit about the differences between animals that breathe air and animals that don't breathe air. So the ones that breathe air are mammals. That's like you and me. And then the ones that live in the water, well, there's no air in the water. They have gills. And they exchange the little bubbles of air in the water that we can't see through their gills. So every now and then you'll see a fish, they'll blow out bubbles. They also have a little thing in their tummy. It's like an air bladder thing, kind of like a submarine. It helps them float up and down in the water. And they let air out of that with little bubbles. So what's our next number here? It looks like red, which are our number 2s. So got my number 2. I have red. And here's a 2 right here. Okay, and then what else do we need? We need number 3 is going on next. 3 is green. So I have my green and a number 3. So let's see, there's some green. And I like to just, when I see a bunch of things like this, I just kind of like put the color on it. And then I'll go back and I'll finish coloring it. It just helps me move along a little bit better. So coloring this. What do you think this stuff is down here? It's G for green. And what else do you think? There's one of our words that started with G. I mean, it kind of looks like it to me. If you guys have fish tanks, you might have like a fake plant. You might have some real plants that are like this. This is like grass. You know, G is for grass. And, well, in this case, we have some green grass. Because believe it or not, fish and bunny rabbits both like to nibble on grass. You know, a lot of people, you think of fish and you think they just want to, you know, eat worms. Well, they do eat a lot of little bugs, little nibs and worms, little flies, anything that'll touch the water, a fish will eat. But just like you, they need their veggies too. So make sure you guys are eating, you know, your green beans and carrots. I guess you could eat some dandelions. Dandelions are actually pretty good. They grow in grass. A lot of people consider those a delicacy. Alright, what's next? We've done our 3s. What comes after 3? 4. 4 is yellow. So I have my yellow. Look at this. This big yellow fish. So this is going to be like a goldfish here. So G is for goldfish. G is for green. G is for grass. I wonder if this is a girl fishy. Could be. No way to know. Okay, so there's our goldfish. What comes after 4? Can you help me? What's after 4? 5. 5 comes after 4. So I have my brown because it says 5 is brown. And I can see I missed a number 4, but I'll go back. So all this looks to be a 5. Here's a 5. And here's a 5. It looks like we have a lot of number 5. So, because there's a lot of edges here, I'm going to color down kind of by the edges first, because that's going to give me a little bit more room in case I make a mistake and go outside the lines when I start to color faster. Okay, so color that spot. Okay, now see, now I can go a little faster, and I don't have to worry so much about coloring out of the lines. But then I got to slow down and come into these little spots down here. Go back up and come back down. Go back up and come back down. And a lot of you may think I'm not holding my pencil right, because sometimes we hold it like this or this. Sometimes you guys are holding it like this. I'm trying to color a lot of area, and I'm trying to hold it so that you can see what I'm coloring. So when you hold it flat like this, it gives you a better an edge to color on, so you can color more surface instead of going up and down like that. And as you get older and get more comfortable learning to write and make your letters and learning to color your nice pictures for mom and dad, and or just, you know, make some pencil drawings and stuff, you start, you know, to figure out that there's different ways that you can hold your pencils and your crayons that will make whatever color that is that you're working with, you know, come out on the paper in different ways. I mean, brown is brown, but you can see right here, you know, if I, you know, go like this, you know, it can get very dark. But see, I was going flat and I was holding it kind of light. So I see this big 4. I'm going to go back with the number 4. That was the yellow. And I'm going to get this yellow down here. And hang on, got to sharpen the pencil. Got my handy dandy pencil sharpener. I love this one because it has a spot that collects the goo, the little shavings. And with color pencils, don't sharpen them to a very sharp point, or you will break the lead. Just take some back onto the wood part, and it's okay to, you know, if you don't have a sharp point. You actually don't want that, because then it'll break a lot easier. And you can always make a point too by coloring kind of flat. It'll make the point of your pencil, and the same thing with a crayon. And you just kind of rotate, you know, your pencil or your crayon to keep a point. So if you want to do like some fine detail, you know, maybe there's a little teeny tiny spot that needs to be colored and you need a point. Okay, so what's our last color? The last number is 6. 5 comes after 6, and it is purple. Have my purple. These look like fingers. You know, they even look like, you know, they got like the fingernails on them. I can't imagine fingernails being in the bottom of this, I don't know, is it a fish tank, or maybe just some scuba diver went down and took a picture in the ocean on maybe a coral reef. It's kind of what I think maybe happened. Maybe someone saw this in a book and then just kind of copied it, made us this nice little color page. But I know what these little purple things are. At least I think I do. You guys ever watch Nemo? You know, the little clownfish that gets lost and is trying to find his dad? Well, this kind of looks like a Nemo fish, but I'm going to call him a goldfish. And these look like sea anemones. It's a animal, I think it's an animal, and it wiggles in the currents. And fish will like to hide in them, because if you touch them, they actually like sting you a little bit. But the fish that live in them, it doesn't bother them. They're okay. Alright, so we made a nice looking goldfish here, and we colored some green grass. So we did a lot with our letter G. So I think that's going to be good for now. Why don't you guys take a break, go get a snack, and go outside.